First thing I'd like to do is welcome you all here to the Kennebecasis Regional Police Force headquarters. I'd particularly like to welcome the family members. Without your support, commitment to these officers, they wouldn't be as successful as they are, as productive as they are. So really, we thank you for your support. It's very, very helpful, and they do a great job because of people like you. So thank you very much. This is the second of our recently revamped Commendation Ceremony. Unfortunately, over the last few years, it got a little bit neglected, so we've kind of changed it a little bit, and we're in a bit of a catch-up mode. Our program in relation to our officers, you'll see on your handout on the back, you'll see the three different types of awards we have. None of them are any more important than the others. Obviously, the deputy chiefs, which is me, is obviously lower on the list, but still, they are important. You'll see the board commendations are generally for very, very high-risk, dangerous situations. The deputy chief's commendations are generally for long-term investigations, significant commitment, skills, etc. And the chief's is somewhere in the middle. So those are the three different types we have. Usually the dangerous ones are something that happens in split seconds or minutes. I guess obviously the Moncton incident was a matter of hours. But those are the type of situations that usually the board commendations are awarded for. And like I said, the deputy chief's commendation is more for an investigation that takes a lengthy amount of time. Anyway, the first certificates we'll be presenting this evening are the chief's commendations. These commendations are presented to two members of our traffic section for their efforts in preventing impaired driving. I certainly don't have to explain to you folks the issues around impaired driving and its dangers, and unfortunately the lives that have been lost through impaired driving. So we feel these are very important programs that we have going here, and the two officers from our traffic section certainly need to be commended for their work. The first recipient is Sergeant Evan Scott. He's been working with Mothers Against the Drunk Drivers program for approximately 20 years now. He's organized, collaborated, and executed a number of initiatives. He's presented many times in community groups and schools. And as you drive around the community, you'll see the MAD signs. That was one of Evan's initiatives. He's also created the, I guess for lack of better terms, the wrecked car display. He has a car that was in a accident with an impaired driver, and he has it on a trailer, and he takes it to various different places to show what impaired driving can do. As a testament to his commitment to preventing impaired driving, he has received both a national and a regional award from MAD Canada. Sergeant Scott, Chief McIntyre, can you present Sergeant Scott with his award, please?
Great pleasure. Thank you very much.
Move over some.
Move over a bit. Evan also has the distinction of having received a Lifetime Achievement Award in traffic safety. It's something we're certainly very proud of, and his latest initiative is to try to reduce the amount of cell phone usage and texting and whatnot on the road. So we commend him for that as well.
The next recipient for the Chief's Commendation is Constable Annika Becker for her work with the TAD program, Teens Against Drunk Driving. Constable Becker became involved in the TAD program in the Kennebecasis Valley in 2008. Previously, she worked in the Amherst Police Service, and she was with TAD from 2003 with those folks. She's participated in numerous activities with the group, including various fundraisers, awareness campaigns, and mock collisions. She also hosted the 2012 provincial conference here at the Kennebecasis Valley High for the group, and has continually raised money to send students to national conferences. She's also been involved in two initiatives that resulted in provincial crime prevention awards, which was a Grim Reaper project at the high school, and she was also involved in a Rogers TV production that showed an impaired driving case from start to finish, which I think was quite well received from those folks that have seen it. It was very educational. Like I said, I don't think I need to explain the importance of educating our youth against the dangers of impaired driving, given some of the tragedies that we continue to hear about on an unfortunately regular basis. And I guess the reality is it appears neither teens nor adults are completely getting the message regarding impaired driving, given the repeat calls for service we have about that issue. So certainly Annika's work and Evan's work is very, very important as we move forward, and hopefully someday we can change what's happening. Anyway, Chief McIntyre, please.
Thank you. Thank you. I recently found out Annika's got a nickname too, because some guy called up grumbling about a ticket that he got, and he didn't know her name. He said, "It's your little blonde ticket machine." I knew right off the bat who he was talking about.
Good.
Congrats.
Okay, we're now going to move on to Deputy Chief's commendations. Our recipients for the Deputy Chief's commendation are Detective Sergeant Craig McDougall, Detective Corporal Colin Flynn, and our special guest Tom White from the RCMP. These officers are being recognized for their outstanding investigative skills involving their investigation of the Cochrane's Country Market armed robbery. I would assume most are aware of that. It certainly shocked the community what happened there. We had a number of, well, three, I almost said gentlemen, three folks went into Cochrane's Country Market armed and actually held them up at gunpoint. Fortunately, that's not a usual occurrence for the Kennebecasis Valley, and through work like what went on here, hopefully it won't happen much more either. I think it's important to note in a file like this the amount of tenacity and the investigative skills, interview skills that are necessary to bring a file like that to conclusion. This was a whodunit. It wasn't a matter of just going through the motions and processing the file. These folks had to take it from nothing and solve the case. Their effort also is an example of the cooperative spirit that we have in the region amongst the police forces. The Hampton RCMP, I guess I go back, District 3, what are you now? I lose it. Hampton detachment of the RCMP was experiencing some armed robberies as well. So typical of what we tried to do here, we collaborate, get together, and work together on these files, and that's how Constable White got involved. And I can't emphasize enough how difficult a file it was, and how important it was to solve that very early on, because what we found from experience, if you have something like an armed robbery and those people aren't caught and aren't stopped, they'll do another one. And if they're not caught then, they'll do another one and another one. So these three folks right here, I would suggest, saved the community a lot of danger, a lot of heartache, because they solved the first one, and knock on wood, we haven't had one since. So it tells us what these guys were up to. So very, very important work they did. They've disrupted it and put these guys away, which is a wonderful thing. I'll tell a little bit of story about what Craig and Colin and I have a bit of a running joke. Every time they get a tough file like this, they're very quick to come in and say, "Oh, I'm having a problem here, it's difficult here, I'm having all these issues," and I say, "Look it, the world doesn't want to hear about the labor pains, they just want to see the baby." So we constantly, we're bantering back and forth about that. So I know these guys were out working on this file for a number of days, and I get up in the morning, I turn my phone on, and I get a message from Craig. Well, actually, I didn't know who the message was from first. I get a message that says, "The baby has been born." And I'm thinking, I don't know anybody that's pregnant, having a baby, or anything else. What is this? I scroll down, and there's a picture of the safe that was stolen from Cochrane's Country Market. Needless to say, I was pretty happy and proud of these guys when I saw that. Pretty amazing, and the baby was delivered, and it was outstanding. And like I said, I can't say enough about the work that went into that file. A lot of long hours, tedious hours, difficult, frustrating. Any other adjectives I'm missing?
It covers it.
Yeah, I think so. Very, very difficult file, and certainly I think these awards are well deserved. So anyway, I'll start with Craig. I guess I get the pleasure of presenting the commendations. Start.
Move over a little bit.
No. Next is Detective Corporal Flynn. He's not moving too fast today. Don't make him laugh.
Can you say you're proud of me one more time?
Yeah. No. They're not used to getting a lot of compliments from me. But
Over a little bit to the right.
I still wanna know about the guy that get out the back door.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
That was Tom's part of the file.
And last but not least,
You wanna sit here,
Constable
Colin?
White.
Every time bad stuff happens, Tom seems to be a regular in the office here. Criminals don't know boundaries, so they frequently crisscross between our policing jurisdiction and that of the
I'd just like to take a couple of minutes to make some final comments. Over the last 3 days, we unfortunately have been reminded the dangerous and difficult job our military and police officers face. As we know today, we've had a serious incident in Ottawa. It's obvious that there's people out there that really don't like our way of life, and they're very willing to do whatever they can to disrupt it. It's an example of what the dangers that our officers face on a unfortunately regular basis. We're very fortunate, however, that we have a very supportive board here in Kennebecasis Regional Police. They continue to put public and officer safety first and foremost. And I guess on behalf of all our officers, I'd just like to thank the board for their support that they give us on a regular basis to allow us to have the equipment and the training that we need to be able to deal with these ever-increasing demands on us as public safety officers. So for that, I do thank you, and I would suggest a round of applause for what these folks did. I guess the other point I'd like to make is for everyone, rest assured that we're working very closely with all our partners as we deal with these new threats. We're going to continue to do whatever we can to make sure that these folks get their just due. But I think we all have to realize, unfortunately, it could happen here. So I hate to end on a bit of a down note, but that's the harsh reality of the world we live in, the world we work in. So anyway, that concludes the formal portion of this evening. I welcome everyone to partake in some refreshments, take some pictures here if you'd like, hang around, socialize, and we really appreciate all you folks coming. Thank you very much.